Excellent, this is an important and broad question. I will provide a detailed and practical answer. 1. I will begin with reliable figures on tobacco-related deaths in the modern era. 2. Then present a conservative estimate of the total number of deaths since the spread of tobacco up to 2025, explaining the calculation method and assumptions. And 3. I will systematically describe what would have happened to humans, animals, nature, and the economy if tobacco, or smoking, had never been invented, including key sources for each point. Each section will be supported by a main reference. 1. Reliable basic facts, modern measurements. Today, tobacco kills about 7 to 8 million people every year, including deaths caused by secondhand smoke exposure. A well-known historical estimate indicates that tobacco caused around 100 million deaths during the 20th century, 1900 to 1999. Experts have warned that the 21st century could see up to 1 billion deaths if current trends continue without strong preventive measures. The Global Burden of Disease, GBD/IHME, studies provide detailed annual data since 1990, showing that tobacco-related deaths have remained in the millions every year, with geographic variations over time. 2. How many people have died from tobacco up to 2025? Logical and transparent estimate. Important note, there is no precise, continuous count of tobacco-related deaths across all centuries since the 16th century, therefore, I will provide an approximate range based on credible historical landmarks and clear assumptions. Estimation method, summary. Known reference point, the 20th century, about 100 million deaths linked to tobacco, a verified estimate from major health organizations. Recent years, 2020-2024/25, the annual average is roughly 7 to 8 million deaths. Total for 2000 to 2024 is almost equal to 25 by 7.5, equals about 187.5 million deaths. This average is based on WHO/GBD data from the last 2 decades. Pre-1900 centuries. Tobacco use began spreading after the 16th century, but adoption was gradual and far less widespread than in later eras. Tobacco-related deaths were therefore much lower. A conservative estimate for the period 1600 to 1899 is 10 to 30 million deaths, reflecting limited use and shorter lifespans. Combining these parts gives a total estimated range of global deaths from tobacco since it spread up to 2025. 100 million in the 20th century, plus 188 million since 2000, plus 10 to 30 million before 1900. Total estimated range is almost equal to 300 to 420 million tobacco-related deaths by 2025. Note, some sources predict a wider range, e.g., projections suggesting up to 1 billion deaths in the 21st century if trends persist, but the figure above represents a consolidated estimate of past deaths up to 2025, based on WHO/GBD reference data. 3. What would change if tobacco had never been invented? Key points and sources. Below are the likely effects on humans, animals, nature, and the economy/society. I will distinguish between what? Thought balloon. What if all the money spent on tobacco around the world were used to build a better future? An amazing question, clapping hands, and one that truly deserves analysis. Let's break it down scientifically and logically, step by step. Globe showing Europe-Africa 1. Global spending on tobacco products. According to market reports, Statista, WHO, World Tobacco Atlas 2023. The global tobacco market in 2023 was valued at around $886 billion. It's projected to exceed $950 billion by 2025. In other words, humanity spends nearly $1 trillion every year on smoking, including cigarettes, cigars, pipe tobacco, and e-cigarettes. Moneybag 2. What could that money create each year if invested in humanity instead? Let's look at real-world comparisons using the same $886 billion figure. School education. The cost to educate one child in developing countries for a full year is almost equal to $300, UNICEF. Right arrow. That means we could fund education for over 2.9 billion children every year. Small blue diamond. Enough to educate every child on Earth multiple times. Droplet clean water and sanitation. Providing clean drinking water and sanitation for one person in Africa or Asia costs is almost equal to $40 or $50, water.org. Right arrow. The same money could supply safe water and sanitation for all 8 billion people on the planet and still leave a huge surplus. Hospital healthcare. Full primary healthcare for one person in low-income countries costs is almost equal to $100 per year. Right arrow. That's enough to cover all of Africa and Asia, about 6 billion people, with universal basic healthcare. Small blue diamond. Effectively eradicating treatable diseases like malaria, tuberculosis, and childhood infections. Deciduous tree. Environment and nature. The cost of planting a single tree is almost equal to $0.31 trillion trees project. Right arrow. With $886 billion, we could plant over 1 trillion trees every year, enough to absorb 25% of global annual carbon emissions. Small blue diamond. The same money that chokes people through smoking could literally save the planet. Houses. Poverty and housing. The cost to build a small sustainable home for one person is almost equal to $10,000. Right arrow. This could build 88 million new homes every year, effectively ending the housing crisis in most developing nations. Sun with face. Clean energy. The cost of building a 1 megawatt solar power plant is almost equal to $1 million. Right arrow. We could build 886,000 megawatts of renewable energy capacity, enough to power over 500 million homes worldwide every year. Adult microscope. Science and innovation. Funding for projects like Tesla, NASA, COVID-19 vaccine programs, and global cancer research combined is almost equal to $100 to $150 billion per year. Right arrow. Tobacco spending could fund 6 to 8 of these mega scientific projects annually. Brain 3. The non-material gains, if tobacco disappeared. 1. Global productivity boost. Smoking reduces worker efficiency and causes millions of sick days. WHO estimates over $1 trillion lost annually in global productivity due to tobacco-related diseases. Right arrow. Eliminating smoking equals double benefit, saving money plus restoring productivity. 2. Improved mental and so.